It has been quite a big week as far as the state capture report is concerned. A lot of reaction to those implicated. Let's get the view then of Cosatu. Joining us this morning, the president of Cosatu, Zingiswa Losi, joining us. Morning to you, Zingiswa. All the best for the year ahead. Quite a hefty read, not exactly light bedtime reading. I'm sure you've had a look at the report, though, as Cosatu. What do you make of this? There's a lot to go through. What stands out for you?
Thank you very much, Gareth, and good morning to the eNCA viewers. Indeed, Cosatu did have a brief look, but of course the Central Executive Committee of the Federation in February will go intensely onto the report. But as we have said that we note the report, we welcome it, and we hope that the recommendations that are made and in terms of the findings will be implemented. You will know, Gareth, that just by printing this report, the country spent 1.5 million just on paper. And to run through the commission itself, it cost the taxpayers probably over 1 billion rands. And we can't then have, this is what we're saying, that we can't have this commission to be the same as the Seriti Commission on the arms deal, where findings are shelved and no action is taken. Because no one will ever take us seriously as a country. So we are hopeful that the prosecuting authority will do its work in now prosecuting as the report is being handed over. And we're looking forward to the other two sections of the report that Judge Zondo will also be handing over to the President.
Yeah, part 2 and 3, we await that eagerly. I imagine, Zingiswa, as a union that fights for the rights of workers, the issues around SAA and SAA technical probably would have caught your attention, perhaps above everything else as well, knowing how many jobs were affected, how many jobs were lost as a result of what happened at SAA as well. Do you get a sense that this report could see things changing at parastatals, or is that wishful thinking?
We are hopeful. That's why we're saying it must not be like a Seriti commission on arms deal, Gareth, that action must be taken. You know, management with no consequences is as good as really having no one that is running an organization, or an organization really that does not exist. Workers have lost jobs because of corruption. People of this country have gone, high levels of unemployment have risen. You would know that we were sitting at almost 46% of unemployment in this country. And yet those that are engineers of the crisis that was seated at are sitting in their holiday homes in Dubai and elsewhere in the world with no consequences. Their kids are still waking up to a choice of what they want to have for breakfast. And there are breadwinners who lost jobs, and those are taking care of over 7 members in each family. And if this commission has spent so much and there are no consequences, then it means we really do not have a country.
It must be difficult, I'm sure, as Cosatu, though, reading through this report, reading all the implicated names, many names coming out of the ruling party, those members then ending up working in government, yet Cosatu still part of the tripartite alliance. How does that make you feel?
Being part of the alliance, it is exactly why Cosatu is in that alliance, is to make sure that the ANC remains accountable. And we are happy that when the ANC came out of Nazareth conference, the 54th conference, it took a resolution to ensure that the ANC is returned back to its a mandate of servicing the people of this country. And through this report, this is what the ANC must be consistent in doing, as the ANC has done within the movement and in the state. And Cosatu will always be that voice within the alliance that says that action must be taken to those that have stolen from the people of this country. So you look at it, Gareth, us being in alliance with the ANC, we have to be that constant reminder of the ANC in terms of why the ANC was formed in 1912. And those individuals who found it convenient to be part of the ANC because they saw a vehicle that is going to deliver a better life for themselves instead of the South Africans. Cosatu will remain in the ANC to ensure that those individuals are removed in the organization, and the organization remains the organization that was formed in 1912 to liberate the people of South Africa from poverty, from unemployment, and inequality. And we are far from achieving that, and therefore the ANC has not fulfilled its mandate of its existence. But individuals within the ANC that have used the ANC for their selfish needs must find being prosecuted by the law. And whoever that is implicated in this report, an individual must not bring the organization to the court of law. Let that individual, Gareth, go and stand in front of the courts of this country, present his or her case, prove his or her innocence, and let the judges judge as to whether, in terms of the evidence presented in front of them, this person is guilty or not. But the ANC
are you sending a birthday card to the ANC? Is that how friendly you are at the moment?
We are part of the ANC, Gareth. That has not changed. The Cosatu in its 13th National Congress took a resolution, and we remain with the ANC. We are now in Polokwane as we speak. We are on the streets. We are talking to workers. We are not going to pretend as if we have not achieved many positive things, particularly during this time, the difficult 2 years during COVID. It has always been the African National Congress that stood with us. We know and we accept that there are weaknesses within the ANC, but we have not seen an organization, a political party that has stood with workers in the history of our existence as Cosatu other than the African National Congress. It is also Cosatu that will always remind the ANC that you are now being off from your mandate. So we are in alliance, but we remain independent organization. We remain the organization that advances the interests of its members, and we shall continue to do so as we say happy 110th anniversary to the African National Congress as we celebrate the birth of the ANC on Saturday, on the 8th of January.
Let me perhaps leave this as a last question to you, Zingiswa. What is the ANC celebrating? We've seen a loss of support at the polls. We've seen infighting within their ranks. And we've also seen that they have no money to pay their own staff. Yet here we are having a birthday party. What is the ANC celebrating? Last question to you.
The ANC, it is not necessarily more of a celebration. You know, when a person, for an example, you have a person at home who has been terminally ill. Sometimes it does not mean when that date of birth comes, you moan to an extent that you have nothing to do. You do something to remember why this person is part of the family. And the ANC's commemoration or celebration of its day is also to make a deep reflection within itself and account to the members of society, to the members of the ANC, and really say, during this time when we're celebrating 110th year of the ANC, these are the weaknesses that the ANC has gone through, and these are the enlightenments that we have understood, reflecting also honestly on how people have spoken to the ANC in the last polls, because the ANC must prepare itself as we go to the general elections. And this is going to be a reflection from the African National Congress on hearing the people of South Africa, and if whether the ANC has heard the people of South Africa. Probably you will see how different it is going to be this time around as opposed to when the ANC would be celebrating. So we may call it a celebration because it is 110 years since the ANC was born, but indeed it's going to be a reflection from the African National Congress on whether the ANC finds itself still relevant and how it is going to turn things around to remain the ANC of O.R. Tambo, of Nelson Mandela, and Mama Betha Gqowa and the rest of others, Mama Winnie Mandela, and many stalwarts of the ANC that have passed on. This is the reflection day for the African National Congress.
Bladen Zamande is saying that this is no longer the ANC that we knew. Would you agree with that? And do you think this could be the last year that we see Cyril Ramaphosa cutting the birthday cake? Last question, I promise.
Cosatu has always said that we are worried with the state of the movement. And Cosatu has been honest to the ANC to say that if the ANC does not change, come the next general elections in 2024, the ANC will find itself out of power. it is indeed not the ANC that we know, because of individuals within the ANC that consistently want to pull the ANC to the opposite direction of why the ANC exists. This is the time for reflection. And Cosatu, this year, as you know, that we are going to our National Congress in September, we will make a deep reflection, as we have done in the Central Committee when we made our midterm review. And Cosatu will make a decision on how we move forward. But for now, we will remain, and we remain in the alliance, and we are going to continue to be that voice of reason within the ANC to ensure that we don't allow the ANC to deteriorate beyond where the state of the organization is. Because indeed, the organization must ask itself, does it exist? Does it have branches that are really the eyes and ears of our people on the ground?
Well, the last local government elections would suggest some of those branches are losing contact with the main tree. Cosatu President Zingiswa Losi, always a pleasure to have you with us here on eNCA.